And we are going to do so with the big story. Now, we're just a few days away from the Labor Day weekend, which has historically been a really dangerous time of year for us here when you consider wildfires. Case in point, the devastating fires that spread across Oregon last Labor Day. You can't forget that. They burned 1 million acres. They destroyed hundreds of homes, killed 11 people. Experts say there are reasons why fire season flares up around this time and that we should be vigilant in the coming weeks. Our producer, Ashley Koch, talked to a fire and drought researcher at Oregon State University.
The evening of Labor Day 2020 was haunting. The sky got dark and the wind started blowing. Power was knocked out to tens of thousands of people. Dust and ash from nearby fires blew into the Willamette Valley. After that, we didn't see the sky for a week. Fires destroyed entire towns, taking the lives of 11 people and the homes and livelihoods of hundreds of others. Let's flash back again to 4 years ago. The Saturday before Labor Day, a teenager playing with fireworks set the Columbia River Gorge ablaze. That fire spread 20 miles overnight, burned 50,000 acres, and decimated a huge part of the gorge. Now, it's been a summer of record heat waves, one right after another. The drought, it stretches across the state. Nearly every single acre in Oregon is at severe drought or higher. Not the best news when you're heading out for one last camping trip.
So there's lots more potential for human ignition sources as we get late into the season. We're not going to be done for a while yet.
Experts say late in the summer, around Labor Day, is a critical time for fire danger in the Northwest. There are a few reasons for that. First, firefighters are worn down by the long summer of fighting fires.
Our fire suppression resources are exhausted and they're spread very thin. They've been traveling all summer and we've got lots of really high priority fires that are happening all over the West.
Already this year, more than 1 million acres of land has burned between Oregon and Washington. Second, the land is dry.
Really, really dry.
The latest drought status update from NOAA says that 94.2% of the Pacific Northwest is in drought. Nearly 60% at extreme drought. And there's something else to watch out for this time of year.
The west side, it's all dependent on easterly winds. So on the west side, whether we get a big fire like last year will depend if we get extremely unusual easterly winds. And I should mention easterly winds were associated with the Eagle Creek fire, in the gorge as well.
The east winds, the strong wind blowing from east to west, fueled the spread of both last year's fires and the Eagle Creek fire. They're also behind some of the largest and most destructive fires in Pacific Northwest history. The Yakult burn, that was a week after Labor Day in 1902. It burned 238,000 acres. And 2 weeks before Labor Day in 1933, the Tillamook burn destroyed 240,000 acres. Late summer is prime time for the east winds in the Pacific Northwest, and they can drive fires to spread for miles very quickly.
I think what we end up with that longer fire season, more people recreating, and this burden of active fires right now, that intersection is much more likely to occur in terms of when the east winds do come because of those lingering wildfires that are out on the landscape to then be swept in as that long-lasting ignition source. So we've got this sort of perfect storm. When the east winds do come, there are existing ignitions ready to go and ready to blow.
Ashley Koch, KGW News.
Thanks to our producer, Ashley, for that story. Got Joe Ranieri joining us now, meteorologist Joe Ranieri. So let's talk about the conditions. First of all, people get a little anxious considering what happened this time last year. So let's talk a little bit about that anomaly of that wind event and then the conditions now.
Yeah, going back to what we saw almost a year ago, we had three things. We saw very dry conditions. We're seeing very dry conditions right now. And we saw that east wind. It wasn't just an east wind with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Some places near Detroit Lake saw gusts up to 60, 70 miles per hour at times. And some of those smaller fires, Dan, had been smoldering for weeks. And you kick in a little bit of some wind and it just spread at very quickly like we saw. Let's go to the map. We'll show you what we're going to be seeing over the next couple of days with the futurecast. This is just showing you where the winds will be. And it's going to be relatively light the rest of tonight. But you notice the gusts pick up along the Oregon coast anywhere from 20, maybe 30 miles per hour over the next 24 hours or so. The good thing is this is more of a westerly flow. We're not going to be dealing with that easterly wind over the next couple of days. That's good because we're going to be seeing more of a northwesterly flow, bringing in more of a marine layer. So things will be relatively cool. Now, you might remember about that that time that those wildfires started to spark last Labor Day weekend, we saw record heat, temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. We're not going to be that warm over the next couple of days, nor are we going to be that warm heading into Labor Day weekend. As we look at the future cast for late tonight and into tomorrow, we'll have more of that onshore flow, bringing us more kind of a thick marine layer, similar to what we saw earlier today. And you know, it's by tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be seeing clear skies and relatively cooler conditions because of those clouds. Now, we'll also be seeing a little bit of measurable amount of rain, mainly along the northern part of the Oregon coast. But by the end of tomorrow, we're bone dry. We're seeing maybe 1/100th of an inch of rain. Now, I want to show you what we're going to be seeing over the next couple of days. Relatively cool, of course, day and into tomorrow. But you'll notice the winds over the next several days heading into the first part of the holiday weekend. It's more of a westerly flow, northwesterly flow. We're not going to be seeing an easterly wind, and because of that, we're going to be relatively on the cooler side, more mild side over the next couple of days. So we're not going to be seeing record-breaking heat heading into next weekend, nor are we going to be seeing those intense winds that we saw, during Labor Day weekend of 2020 that we just saw spread fires all over the place throughout much of the Pacific Northwest.
Got it, Joe. Thank you so much.